Tonight on Be Something Wonderful, Quantum Imagining, Next Level Neville. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from a subscriber that said, Tom, I'm new to your channel, and I'm familiar with the Neville Goddard teachings on imagining, but I struggle with imagining, and I just don't know what the difference between imagining, visualization, and sometimes I feel like I'm just having a fantasy or I'm daydreaming. And I'm just wondering if you can unpack that. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this tonight and more. So tonight we're going to take imagining the Neville Goddard way to the next level. This is quantum imagining, right? So this person said in this email, well, you know, it's all in your imagination. Well, that is the point. Exactly. It is all in your imagination, right? How do I know whether I'm just fantasizing or imagining my wish fulfilled? Well, here's the thing, guys, with that, it's only you're the one who decides that. Hear this, it's within you. Remember, you're streaming consciousness. It's your intention, your belief, your assumption that determines whether you're fantasizing, daydreaming, or imagining. It's all you anyway, and you're constantly creating realities, right? So there's really no difference. It's really the difference is your intention, your belief, your assumption. Your consciousness, remember this is a big point, doesn't distinguish between real and imagined unless you do. Hear this. Your consciousness knows no difference unless you do. Unless your 3D you starts saying, well, it's just all in my imagination. It's a fantasy. It's a daydream. Then so be it, right? That reality mirror says back to you, okay, then it's just a fantasy. It's just a daydream. And consolidates around that assumption. Do you hear this, right? Your consciousness will consolidate around whatever you intend, believe, and assume. Right? It's never just your imagination. Hear this. Boy, you're creating realities all the time. Right? Let's really go deep today with this. The main reason your imaginal scene or wish fulfilled isn't yet manifested in 3D reality is that your current 3D outer experience seems more real and is considered more important than your inner world. Hear this. This is what's happening, right? This is why the imagining feels like you're daydreaming, feels like it's not working. You're saying that 3D current reality is more valid, it's more real than your inner state, right? Where that's just fantasy, right? It seems more real, it's more dense, it's more solid, more important than your inner world. When you flip the switch on that, flip the script, flip the switch, flip the script on that, right? Make your inner world more real. Then you got it, right? Most of your attention is on the already manifested reality of what is than the imagined reality of what could be. Hear this. If you feel stuck in your imagining, you're looking at what is, what was. It's old. It's already manifested instead of what could be. That's your imagination, right? You judge, you interact with, you resist, you sometimes embrace, right? You sometimes love, you sometimes hate, you push against, you talk about the current 3D reality. All of it, whether you're loving it, hating it, embracing it, pushing it away, whatever you're doing with it, it's as though it's something solid, real, and movable, and separate from you. Do you hear this? It doesn't matter if it's in a negative way or positive way, you're keeping that reality alive, right? When in reality, I use this, when in reality, it's all you, right? Your inner world and your inner authority is all that matters. And in fact, it is matter, right? So it is matter when you decide it to be, right? So whatever you're giving your attention to, whether you are seeing it with your 3D eyes, right? With your physical 3D eyes, or with your mind's eye, hear this. Either way, whether it's with your physical 3D eyes or your mind's eyes, whatever we call attention, all of that's attention, you begin to make it real in 3D as you extend it through your consciousness in time and space. You give it time and space. You extend it. Things can't exist in reality unless there's a space and time for it to exist in 3D reality, right? You create that as you put your attention on it. Right? You extend it, you create the space for it, right? You give it time and space, you give it form, right? So this is big. this is big, instead of daydreaming and fantasizing about your desires, which is nice too, I enjoy that, but in the people and things, imagine and visualize yourself as the version of you experiencing those things. Hear the difference. Hear the difference. So fantasizing and daydreaming, it feels like it's something separate from us, out of reach. We also don't feel immersed in it. Hear this, we don't feel part of it. When we're seeing the image, we're visualizing the image, but we're not inside the image, right? Here's the key to imagining, guys. It's big. It's imagining it, but you're visualizing it. You're seeing it from inside the image. You're in the image, also observing, right? You're in the play, but you're also the observer of the play, right? You get within the image, and you're still observing, but you're also in the image. That's big. That's the difference. We're going to hit this again, right? So imagine and visualize yourself as the version of you experiencing those things. See the version of yourself for whom your desired reality is real. And identify with it and occupy that version of yourself. And that it will be real, right? So remember, this version already exists in alternative parallel reality. It's already real. That version of you is already there. You need to move to it. You are perceiving and receiving this new version of yourself, a new reality, as you imagine it, right? Here's the difference, right? And remember, you can conjure an image, but you're also receiving images, right? We're going to hit this difference. So here's your old reality. And as you imagine it, as you put yourself in that reality, not simply imagining the image, and not even simply imagining the imaginal scene. That's great, put yourself in the scene. But put yourself actually in that image, in that new version of yourself, in that new reality, right? This is your old 3D you, right? And then as you do that, look at as you change, you're moving to that new reality. You move to that new version of yourself. There's the metaphysical version. And then as you keep moving parallel realities, you are now the new you, the new reality, the parallel reality. See, it all comes together. You move into that new version of yourself as you imagine it, right? You're occupying it, right? You're perceiving and receiving it, and you move to it, right? You start observing your new self, right? Then you move to imagining as the new version of yourself. So it starts with you seeing that new version of yourself, seeing that new reality in your mind's eye. But then you move to imagining it as that new person, as that reality, right? You go from sort of visualizing, looking at it, to looking as it. Hear this, that's the difference, right? But you've got to start there. You can't, if you just jump in, right? Jump in as it. Sometimes you haven't created the state yet where you haven't let go of your old reality, right? Hear this. I'm going to show you at the end of this video how to do this. You haven't let go of the old reality, and you're trying to jump right in to a scene where and it doesn't feel real to you. It doesn't feel like you're in it. This moves you in it. You start seeing yourself in that new reality, right? You're looking at it, so to speak, with your mind's eye, right? Then you move to the imagining it as it. Then you become as it. Then you immerse yourself in that new reality completely and identify with that new version of yourself. Now there's no way out. You're in it. This is what I was trying to tell a subscriber tonight on the channel, that she is already there. She's already that new version of herself. She's already in that reality, but she keeps looking in 3D for verification. But remember, you are reality. You are 3D. So you can never find it outside yourself. It's always within. And when you look within, and you'll see it without. That's what I'm saying here, right? Once you claim it and assume it is real, rest in that knowing, right? There you go. Rest in that knowing. There's no need to constantly affirm, constantly visualize. That just contradicts your new knowing, your new reality. Do you hear this? Right? So let's unpack this a little bit more. Hear this. It's more about receiving the image than conjuring it up, but that's okay too. So it's okay to conjure the image, right? To imagine it, right? To create the scene. That's great. That's the Neville way. That's powerful. It's effective. It's an amazing technique, right? Use that, but also as you're doing that, as you're moving that, you're going to receive images. Don't close those off, right? And you're going to receive your new reality. You're going to receive that new version of yourself. That's really actually what you're doing anyway, right? It feels like you're conjuring it up, but you're not really. You're receiving that image from your higher self. Hear this, right? So it feels like we're creating it, but you're really receiving it from your higher self. It's already there. That new reality already exists. You're receiving it, that image from that alternative parallel reality. You're not making it up from scratch. It's already there, right? But when you desired it, when you thought of it, when you had the desire, then you were connecting, aligning with that new reality, right? You were seeing it. You were seeing on the other side of the mirror, right? Resting in the fulfillment, right, is similar to the Sabbath, right? Resting, right? It's similar to the Sabbath, but hear this, what Neville talks about the Sabbath, right? But in this case, you're already in your desired reality. Nothing needs to happen in 3D. It's already happened. So sometimes when we're in the Sabbath, even though we're not supposed to do this, we look to see what's happening, right? We're looking to see if we're going over the bridge of incidents or whether it's happening. You don't need to. You're in it, right? And as I said, you're looking as reality. So you can't find what you're looking for because you are it, right? You're chasing your reflection, right? Give no importance to anything, events, conditions that appears to contradict your new reality. As you rest in that fulfillment, give no importance to any of it that appears to contradict it, right? You choose it, it's yours. Contradictions cannot exist outside of you, right? They only have a life if you agree with them. So we get a lot of this, right? Tom, this seems like a contradiction, and I get it. This is the paradox. But contradictions are only created by that 3D mind. There are no contradictions in ultimate reality, right? It all fits because it's all that is, and it contains everything. So they're not ever any contradictions, right? So contradictions cannot exist outside of you. They're not like something that's outside of you that have a life of their own. You create them, right? So and here's a big point. We often talk about ignoring 3D reality. Even Neville talks about that. But I want to refine that a bit. And so because there's some resistance in that, ignoring it. That's not what Neville meant to create resistance. What he really meant is, instead, give no relevance or importance to any of it that's not your chosen reality, right? That's what he means. Be dispassionate. Don't give it any relevance. Don't give it any importance, right? Sometimes we think ignoring is to actively resist it, or it turns into that. But don't ignore it. Rather, just don't give it importance. Right? Because there's some resistance in ignoring, right? Instead, this is resistance free. You don't give it any importance. You don't give it any relevance, and you only give relevance to your new chosen reality. Hear this, how powerful that is. It's totally resistance free. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So you're familiar with this, right? And this subscriber asked about the bridge of incidents. Well, we've talked about the bridge of incidents, right? The bridge of incidents, though, hear this, even though those are the events that are unfolding that move you to your chosen reality, sometimes we think of the bridge of incidents in a linear way. We think of it and remember, here, think about all scripts existing, right? All timelines or all lifelines. And we think in a linear way with these lifelines, right? That they have a past, that they have a present, and they have a future. But that's not really the case. They're all happening at the same time, right? So as you imagine your wish fulfilled, here you are in your current frame imagining. As you imagine it, it's not that you're moving further on that timeline, we've talked about this, or on that script to your wish fulfilled, right? It's not a bridge of incidents that exists within your current reality that you're in. Hear this, right? So sometimes we think that way, that we're moving to the future in our current reality. What you're really doing is the bridge of incidents is you're shifting realities. That's the bridge of incidents. You're going through multiple alternative realities to your wish fulfilled. Do you hear this, right? So you go from, you imagine it here, you move here. You keep imagining and you move here. And you keep going until you reach the scripts or the lifeline where your desired reality is. Do you see that, guys? So the bridge of incidents is really you moving through parallel realities to your desired lifeline of your wish fulfilled, but it's not linear. Remember, I put this in another video. I want to show it to you here because it's very relevant. Your new parallel reality and wish fulfilled, it's actually like this. Here you are in the moment and now. With your thoughts, assumptions, with your state of being, you're creating these waves or ripples of past, present, and future events or realities. Each of these waves are lifelines or film rolls or timelines that choices or scripts that you can choose. But here's the thing. Here you are, and then you move to one. But it's not linear. And then as you imagine your wish fulfilled, you move here. And as you imagine your wish fulfilled, you move here. So it's not sort of that linear pattern, but this is how it moves. You move to anywhere you want in the moment and now. You can go to any of these lifelines, in any of these frames that are on the lifelines right now. That's powerful. Right? That's how it looks. That's what we're talking about when we're imagining. So try this, right? Try this. We've talked about this in other videos. I think there was a combination of it. But try this with your imagining. The first step is to clear the clean slate, right? Clear the old reality out, right? Clear everything out. Be still and know that I am God. Let go of that old 3D reality. Move into a deep, relaxed state, an alpha state, right? However you do it, right? There is no secret here to however you get into a meditative state, right? I just like a few deep breaths, and then I get into that relaxed alpha state. Don't condition it. It's just the I am. Move to that I am awareness. That's what you're doing here, right? It's not I am this or I am that. And step one, it's simply, and I don't like you guys, steps always feel manufactured, but I think it works here, right? I am this or I am that. It's not I am this or I am that. It's simply I am. Here, the reason sometimes that we struggle with imagining is we don't start from a clean slate. We're still holding on to what happened in the day. We're still holding on to our old 3D reality, right? And until you really let that go, you can't move to your new reality. You can't take anything with you, right? You're going to move to the new room, move to the new mansion, and leave the old man, as Neville Goddard talks about, right? Leave the old man alone, right? And resurrect into that new state of consciousness, right? Be still and know that I'm God. Move into a deep, relaxed alpha state. Don't condition it. Just I am, not I am this or that. Then, the second step then is choose, receive the images of the new version of yourself in new reality. Feel it is real because it is, right? Here you're seeing it and you're looking at it. Here, okay? You're just seeing it and you're looking at it. You're receiving the images, right? And you're looking at it. You're looking at the images. 3, then, go deeper, right? Identify as the new version of yourself, as that reality. You're no longer looking at, you're identifying as, you're occupying it, right? You're becoming it. You are it anyway. These are almost seamless, right? All of this is seamless, right? They feel like steps, but don't get caught up in this. This all happens all at the same time, right? Because that reality is all in the now. Everything's happening at the same time. There is no time, right? So identify yourself, right? The new version. Occupy the image, right? See, so this is important. Occupy the image and then observe through the image, right? You're now in the image, just like you would in 3D reality. Now you're observing as the image and through the image, right? Rest in that fulfillment. Step 4, finally, let go of trying to make anything happen. Don't worry about the hows or the whens, right? And it doesn't matter how or when, right? You're already there. You are in your new reality and the new version of yourself, whether you believe it or not. This is what I wanted to make a point because someone on the channel that I just responded to, and she's going, well, I'm not sure, but it hasn't, my 3D hasn't seemed to change. Well, it's not going to change until you do, but again, stop looking for the change out there. You are that new reality. You are that new version of yourself, whether you believe it or not. So just believe it because you are it, right? That's quantum imagining. That's next level Neville. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, our website at tomcaron.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I always love to hear from you. Guys, until next time, be sure to share the videos, share the channel, friends, families, others, on your social media. The word's getting out. We're having an impact. Yeah. So until next time, with great love and great light, this is Tom. See you soon.